Hey, Clark here from churchwebhelp.org. Today we're talking about mobile phones, making your website mobile first. That means that when you design the website, you're first looking at how it works on the mobile phone and then thinking about how it may look on a computer. You know, mobile phones are very unique in the fact that they're different sizes. When you make a website for a computer, they'd all kind of be in the similar dimensions, whether it's on a laptop or a desktop. But for the phone, some have big screen phones, other ones have smaller ones, and even other ones have very small screens. And designing a website for a mobile phone is quite different than a desktop. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about designing for the mobile phone and keeping the mobile user in mind. So we'll hop on in here and get to it. All right, thank you for joining me here. And you know what? You may be joining me on a mobile phone, or you may be looking at someone across the room browsing on their mobile phone. People using the internet on the mobile phone has grown so much. And one end of it is, of course, people are looking at the internet on their phones. But the other end of it is it's still actually actively growing in terms of adaptation. And so when we think of church website design, you want to think of the mobile phone first. We want to have a mobile first philosophy because most people, frankly, are using their phone. Me being in my early 40s, I still prefer a desktop or a laptop, but I've talked to college kids even in the past 5 or 10 years, and they'll tell me they just do almost everything on their phone, which is one argument why they may buy nicer phones or really covet a phone more than a car or something, because that phone is their computer. It is their camera. It's their map, their atlas, and on and on and on. But when it comes to website design, we need to think about that very clearly, because sometimes a website that looks good on a laptop or desktop does not look good on a mobile phone. And so I have a statistic here, percentage of mobile device website traffic worldwide. Okay, so how many people are looking at websites from their phone from the first quarter of 2015 to the first quarter of 2021. Well, what would that be? That'd be, if my math is correct, roughly 6 years. And so we see just 6 years ago, there was only about 31% looking at websites on their phone versus their desktop. And now we fast forward 6 years, not a long time at all, fast forward 6 years, and now it's 54.8% on average. So more than half the people that are looking at a website are looking at it from their phone. And again, the reason why this is so important is you kind of hit a tipping point where now everybody is thinking, you know what, we need to design these websites. Even if we're designing them on computers with big screens, we need to design them for the little screen. We need to put that as the top priority. And I think of just how much this has grown over the years and what the implications are for website design when it comes to churches. Because again, if you think of the checklist, you want a secure church website, you want a fast church website, you want a simple church website, you want a multimedia rich church website, and you want a mobile first church website. This is kind of rounding up. It's certainly not the bottom of the list of the great website fundamentals, but it's kind of rounding out the fundamentals, the top keys to making a great church website in 2021 and 2022 and until the Lord calls us home. Amen. Now, just to test out this statistic, this website, I've used it before. I've seen it. You can read about who gave this information. I said, okay, that's good, but let me test this out on one of our own sites. And so I've got something called Google Analytics, and I blew this up a little bit so you can see it better for a website I have. And you see here, and this is the last 28 days, we've had 710 users in the last 28 days. And of those 710, 370 were mobile, 320 were desktop, and 20 were tablet. Well, what does that breakdown take for mobile? That's 52.11%. We go back here, and it says 54.8%. But if you tack on another 2% for the tablet or so, then you're at almost the identical number at about 54%. So this is exactly pegged to this information. More people are looking on mobile. This is a news website for the outdoor playground industry. If you're looking on mobile, this is spot on. Roughly half or you say 5 to 6 out of 10. And so what do we need to do? Real quick, I'm not going to take a long time here, but real quick, what do we need to do to make a website mobile friendly? Now, the web design term, and I welcome you to use this, even if you don't work with us, you work with someone else, and you need to ask about this. The web design term here is responsive. Responsive. If you look at our little logo somewhere, we've got a little chat window and we've got a PC, and then we've also got a tablet and a laptop. And that is to communicate this idea of responsive web design. So you have one single design idea or concept, and it responds to each different device that it is placed on. And so if it opens up on a computer, it's going to look a certain way. If it opens up on a phone, it's going to look a certain way, and a tablet, and so on. But here, this better shows you, this is just our church web help website, and you can see the lazy load there of the video, which is cool, how it slowly loads up, so that gives you a faster speed. It looks good on a desktop, nothing crazy, just something simple. But then here on the higher tier phone, this would be like a big screen phone. Think of your Samsung Galaxy or your iPhone. You see how the website would look, and you see how it all kind of folds into place. And you can see here a subtle difference in this. You see the menu on the desktop, if you can, up at the top. Well, where does the menu go here? It goes into what's called a hamburger, which is a little tiny little menu on the phone, which we had to edit. And matter of fact, this morning, I said, I can't do a mobile friendly video until I edit my menu on the mobile phone. So we had to edit that, make sure it was good and clean. But you see how it is in the higher end phone. And then you have a mid-tier phone, right? Mid-tier phone might be an entry-level phone. We have probably most of the phones in our household are mid-tier phones. These are some of these old Motorola's and so forth they look like smartphones, and our little 4-year-old loves to play with it, but our teenager is too slow for him. Okay. That's a mid-tier phone. And many people use mid-tier phones. And then you have the low-tier phone. This would be called a feature phone. This would be kind of like your old Nokia or even a flip phone, which are very active today. Yeah, I got an email from Instagram, an old church account, that it had been hacked. We fixed it real quick by a user using a Nokia in New York. There you go. So Nokias are still used today, or allegedly they were using a Nokia. But these lower tier phones, and what you see here, and again, not taking a lot of time with this, but a lot of these lower tier and mid tier phones, it's very important to design for. And the reason why is because much of the world, this is what they use. And if you really want to get into kind of the background of this, in Africa and China, they never really had broadband with real fancy desktop computers. I remember in high school, we had a real nice high school up north. We had a computer with a CD-ROM in it and all this stuff many, many years ago. Amen. 20 years ago. Well, that technology never made its way over to many of the developing countries, not in mass, not like it is today. And so what happened is people went from nothing technology-wise to a smartphone. And not just a smartphone, but a really, really smartphone. I was preaching a message about a month ago, and I was dumbfounded, really, that NASA, the technology in the NASA rover is like no better than a smartphone. And there's reasons for that, but still, it's unbelievable how powerful these phones are. We went to South Carolina for a day. We stayed at a hotel. Amen. Usually we like to camp out. We stayed at a hotel because we were just there for a day. And you know how we opened the door at the hotel? With the smartphone. It just opens the door. It's incredible what you can do with these things. And yet in the developing world, they never had desktops. So they moved to these higher tier phones or mid tier phones. Or if you really want to go out into places where maybe it's a very poor area, maybe it's a very dire situation with currency, exchange rates and so forth, they're going to be using a low tier phone. So if you have a ministry aimed at the third world, and Lord, I would bless you if you did. Amen. I believe it. To spread the gospel and to help others to show the love of Christ, you may really want to be building a website that's primarily focused on the low tier phone. I have a work phone. I use a very simple, the lower end Apple iPhone, the SE, which is a very, very nice phone. And then I also have a little flip phone, and people kind of make fun of me for that flip phone. But in my mind, I'm thinking this is what many people in the world use. And as I understand how that works, it helps me to understand what many people will be using to text or to run even an application on, as simple as that is. So none of this is wrong. Again, I thought it was interesting in our analytics that only a tablet for a month, only really 2% or almost 3% on a tablet. So I don't know how much time I would spend on tablet design, but hey, a little bit on tablet, definitely on mobile. Thinking again, you may just be the quarterback here. You may be just calling out the plays, right? You may not be designing the site. You may be working with a team. You may have a tech guy. You may have a local person. You just want to ask them, is the site responsive, or how can we make this site responsive? And when you do that, and then you test it out, just take the time to test it. It is somewhat tedious, but do that. And then you will have a responsive mobile first website. And that will give you, this is just another browser of our site, that'll give you something that's easy navigatable, easy to navigate. When you build your website, you have one particular thing in mind you want to do. And with ours, our main focus is Get Help, the Get Help button. And so when you're on the mobile site here, you can click the little hamburger menu and Get Web Help. You can click that. You can close it out. If this, again, you click, I say click, but you're using your finger, right? You're on your phone. You could scroll down and hit the Get Help. You could learn more if you wanted to. You could watch the video. You could scroll down more and click another Get Help. You can visit some of our examples of work we've done, see what we're about. You can even give right here and visit social media, and that's it. So we just distill it down in that mode. And then you see it's a little different on a tablet. This headline here could be a little bit better, but it's manageable on a tablet. And again, we have a very low rate of traffic on tablets. And then on desktop, you've seen it, I'm sure, by now, or at least in our videos. But the point is, think about what you want to do. And to wrap up this series, make your website secure, number 1, fast, number 2, simple, number 3, multimedia rich, number 4, and finally, mobile first design, mobile friendly. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon. God bless you. Amen.